A reading from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest by Ken Kesey. Across the room from the acutes are the culls of the Combine's product, the chronics. Not in the hospital, these to get fixed, but to keep them from walking around in the street and giving the product a bad name. Chronics are for the good, the staff concedes. Chronics are divided into walkers, like me, could still get around and keep them fed, and wheelers and vegetables. What the chronics are, or most of us, are machines with flaws that cannot be repaired. Flaws born in, or flaws beat in over so many years of the guy running head on into solid things. By the time the hospital found him, he was bleeding rust in some vacant lot. But there are some of us chronics that the staff made a couple mistakes on a year back. Some of us who were acutes when they came in and got changed over. Ellis is a chronic, came in an acute, and got fouled up bad when they overloaded him in the filthy brain-murdering room that the black boys called the shock shop. Yet he is nailed against the wall in the same condition they lifted him off the table for the last time, in the same shape, arms out, palms cupped, with the same horror on his face. He's nailed like that on the wall, like a stuffed trophy. They pull the nails when it's time to eat, or time to dive into bed, when they want him to move so I can mop up the puddle where he stands. At the old place he stood so long in one spot, the piss ate the floor and the beams away under him, and he kept falling through to the ward below, giving them all kind of senseless headaches down there when the roll check came around. Ruckley is another chronic, came in a few years back as an acute, but they overloaded him in a different way. They made a mistake in one of their head installations. He was being a holy nuisance all over the place, kicking the black boys and biting the student nurses on the legs. So they took him away to be fixed. They strapped him to what they call to that table. And the last anybody saw of him for a while was just before they shut the door on him. He winked. Just before the door closed, he told the black boys as they backed away from him, "You pay for this, you damn Can't say that word." And they brought him back to the ward 2 weeks later, bald in the front of his face, the oily purple bruise, and the 2 button-sized plugs stitched one above each eye. You can see his eyes, how they burned him over there. His eyes are all smoked up, and the gray deserted inside like brown fuses. All day now he won't do a thing but hold an old photograph in front of that burned-out face, turning it over and over in his cold fingers, and the picture wore gray as the eyes on both sides, with him all his handling, till you can't tell anymore what it used to be.